One of the indispensable tools that everybody wants in their portfolio toolkit is a calendar that shows how much money they made every day of the week. Now, I think those tend to be more useful for vanity purposes, but if you are careful about how you construct your calendar, and we're going to be very careful about how we construct it, we can actually pull some really useful insights that both make us feel good about ourselves and then also help us do a better job of managing our portfolio. So let me flip over to what that looks like, and you can see. So this right here is my calendar. Now this calendar is going to be the inspiration for building the calendar feature within the portfolio operating system. So that's why I'm showing it. And you can see it has the usual stuff. So I got, every day of the week, how much money did I make? So today is the 22nd. I made about $750. See how much I totaled up, how many days we've been busy so far, etc. So, some useful summary information, but again, not the most useful. This average per day is a little bit helpful. You can kind of trend it, but again, it's not the most useful. But we start to get into some more interesting information up here on these cards. So we have up here $21,000 in credit for the month. That's great, but I have a better way of showing that, and I'm using a forecast. So I'm actually, right here is not really where I want to see it. Uh, the total number of rolls is useful, especially because we can use that to measure how we're progressing month to month to month. But even more interesting is the average credit per roll. Now, this number is particularly good to me because I actually changed up my strategy in July. And if I look at my average credit per roll in June, it was only $65 as compared to, almost $100 this month. And if I go back, you'll see that I was following a certain pattern back then where I was yielding somewhere in the 60s, and then suddenly I had to spike up to 100. And the reason for that, again, is because I changed my strategy. And I'm going to talk about that one at some point, but that's not the point of this video. So you can use this now to measure the effect of a change in strategy. Maybe you experiment with something and you want to know, like to measure, you need to be able to measure the results of experiments to know whether or not they succeeded or not, and whether or not it necessitates or should provoke a change in how you operate. And then these rolling averages. So I love these rolling averages because they help show and even out both they even out the outliers. So if I might have a bad week, like in June, there was one week I think that was pretty bad. Yeah, like the last week of June was not a great week. I only did 3,300, but by averaging things out, we can see that I'm on target for that's May. If I go into July, we can see that my rolling averages are actually pretty healthy, and so that helps me get a feel for how am I doing in the long run, not just how did I do this month. So that's the value. And then a couple of other things that we can drill into here is that we can look at for a given day, what did we actually do? So if I go and if I pop into here, I can see the actual rolls I did. And I have a very roll heavy strategy. So this is all useful information to me, is to see like these are the transactions that hit my hit my book today. And the other thing too, and the last thing I'll talk about is this idea of copying. So I can copy this table to the clipboard, and then I can go to something like ChatGPT, and I can say, these are the transactions I had today in the market. And this isn't a very interesting piece of information I gave it, so it's really just going to kind of summarize back for me what I did. But when and I went in private mode here, so it doesn't have any memory of what I've done in the past. But when you have a long relationship with the large language model, it will use that and help you to do a better job of assessing where you are and what you've done. So that's what we're getting from that. And that copy to clipboard feature is something that we're going to have and build pretty pervasively throughout the portfolio operating system. So hopefully you found that interesting and a little bit inspirational. And if you're interested in finding out more about how we build this out, give this channel a subscribe and like the video, and I will see you in the next one.